Did you know that arrow shafts come in male and female varieties? I sure didn't. So what is the difference between them? Well, a male arrow shaft, has a point sticking at the end of the arrow shaft, and I guess the arrowhead goes around it. The female one has a concave hole that the arrow has a stick that goes into, and that's how you get the two different arrow shafts. So who cares? What does this have to do with anything? Well, it has a lot to do with building the sukkah, apparently. You see, a male arrow shaft is considered to be okay to make the shade over the sukkah, but a female is not. So why? Is this some kind of sexist thing? No, it has to do with the fact that a female arrow shaft is defined as being a kli. It's being a vessel. Because it's got this kind of hole in it for something else to come into it, it's like a prepared vessel that is part of a greater unit. And therefore, it's kind of like perfected in a certain way. And anything that's perfected is not going to be used to be providing shade. It's a finished vessel. But a male arrow shaft, there's really just kind of a stick with there's a pointy end of the stick, which sticks have pointy things coming out of them. And that is not considered to be a completed vessel. Therefore, it is not been transformed. It has not been perfected to the extent that it is now forbidden to be using as part of the shade for a sukkah. So when you've got a kli, when you've got a vessel, when you've got something that has been worked on and transformed into something else, okay, you're not going to then take that and make that part of the schach, of the shade. But when you don't have something that way, it can be. And a very relevant application of that is in Jerusalem, you'll have these kind of reed mats that are sold for the sukkah. Now, they look like a reed mat you could use for other purposes. And if you do have them for other purposes and they're made for other purposes, then you couldn't use them as the schach in the sukkah. But if they're just for the schach in the sukkah, then it would be okay.